And most likely, that's what she did. My dad also took the time to file a active restraining order against her, and she wasn't allowed at least 500 feet from the house and me. She couldn't get to me because that restraining order was on top of her. She couldn't get anywhere within 500 feet from where I was or where my dad was. And so anyway, she just came and got her things and she left. She had to find another place to live. Well, after that, my dad allowed her to come back over to the trailer house to get her things. And she warned her about the restraining order. And he's like, if you break the restraining order, you're going back to jail without warning. And she said, okay. There'll be no problems here. I'm just here to get my stuff. And that's what she said to my dad. So, my dad was at work that day. I was sitting at home. And I peeped out the window. Well, I saw her drove up in the driveway. And I literally just backed out from the window. And most likely, the gate was unlocked for her. And my dad actually told her that her stuff was in the shed. Well, anyway, she was getting her stuff and putting it in her car. And I was watching her. I knew at the time that if she tried anything stupid, it was her going back to prison. And there was no doubt about it, you know. Because if she would have tried to break in the house, she would have been going back to prison. Simple as that. So anyway, as she shut her car doors and she got back in her car, she left. And most likely, she went back to her apartment. And most likely that was a day that I never forgot what she did. I thought to myself that whole day, what a person she really was. She was full of hate. She hated my guts as more as she hated Dad's. And most likely, I prayed for her. I prayed that she would have been a changed person. Instead, she chose to do bad things. And I can't judge about that on what she did. I mean, I knew out of the fact that she had ruined a Christmas, she had sliced me with a knife, she stole some of my things, and clearly I got it back. She framed me for dirty clothes and clean clothes, and she lied and manipulated and embarrassed herself to the fact of the matter why she would do such a thing. Well, anyway, my dad came home that evening and he told me, hey, did she get her things? And I was like, yeah, she did. And after that, she left. Well, anyway, it was time for me to find a good job. I've applied online, and my first job that I've worked at was HEB. Well, what I did over there was I was a sacker plus a cart boy. Well, one day, as I was sacking this guy's groceries, I looked over and I actually saw her. She was literally standing right there at a checkout. I went back to what I was doing, and a few minutes she tapped me on the shoulder. I stopped what I was doing, and I literally turned around and I looked right at her. It was face to face. And she told me how sorry she really was. And I literally was in the mood where I didn't want her touching me. Well, as she was getting her hands and she was about to touch me, I did this. Don't touch me. I don't want you touching me. And literally she apologized because of the way she acted. And I don't know where my head was that night. After I got home from work, I literally was just ticked off the way that she treated my dad and me. I literally wanted the best for her, that she would have changed, but accordingly, a person like her cannot change overnight from doing what's wrong and what's right together. So basically afterwards, I just began praying for her. I began to put strength on her. Well, after that, my dad and I was getting ready to move. And we got moved down here to San Antonio. And most likely, my dad told me, you gotta let go of what she did. 'Cause I know she hurt you. I know she hurt me. And he asked me to forgive. And I did. I forgave her. And I know that that was the last time that I was going to see her. And that was the last time she was going to see me. And I think to myself, this was for the best. 'Cause you wouldn't have to come home hearing the constant screaming, hearing the constant yelling at each other, and cursing and slapping each other. Oh, she didn't slap me, she slapped my dad. My dad didn't slap her, but she was slapping him. And after that, I knew that this was the end. And most likely, I was pretty happy. I was happy to be away. Well, after that, as I got moved to San Antonio, I literally lost my job. I literally got fired. And because I didn't put my transfer through, and they had the right to fire me. And literally, I'm happy to this day that I found another job. I'm happy about that. And, you know, I know what I said yesterday, it was uncalled for. No, my dad just wants to help me and all. And, you know, I will let him help me. I mean, he wants for the best for Duncan and me. And that's what he wants. He wants me to be successful. He doesn't want me going off in the real world with no money and no place to live. And I think that's for the best for me, you know, to be happy. And I know that when we moved away from Odessa, I was pretty happy. And he was too. And that's what brings the end of the Psycho story. And, you know, it was a 2-story long. The first was on my mother. The second was on my former stepmother. And then afterwards, moving to San Antonio, and my dad literally started dating again and got married again to a nice stepmother who actually cares, who actually does not take things for granted, and who would help her kids too. But anyway, this is the end of the video. Now you guys know that it is the end of the Psycho story. And maybe that's all I got from here. Well, we're back to normal vlogs later on. And most likely, I can't wait to do that. Can't wait to share my daily life with y'all. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe for more content. Links to the previous episode is down below. Check those out if you want to. For hashtag 428, which is our next video, after this one is uploaded, we'll be good to go. Well, be safe, make wise choices, and always remember to keep it rockin'. Love y'all to death, and always remember, keep it rockin'.